This is the Dallas Morning News.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hey, and welcome to Eat, Drink, DFW, the podcast from the Dallas Morning News food team. Each week, we take a look at food and drink trends in North Texas, talk about restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth, learn some new recipes, and sometimes even get tips from you, our listeners. I'm Anna Butler, the Dallas Morning News' food and events editor. We'll be catching up on a new supper club in the burbs and a new spot inspired by the Hamptons in downtown Dallas. Then we'll be talking about margaritas and their history in DFW. That's all coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food. Like when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you can shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
For the latest food and restaurant news in Dallas-Fort Worth, visit dallasnews.com/food. If you're behind on episodes, make sure to follow Eat, Drink, DFW on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. We'd love to hear from you too, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. Today, I am joined by our food writers, Sarah Blaskovich and Imelda Garcia. Imelda, it is your time to shine. You wrote a story about a new spot called Gigi's that's opening this spring.
Yes, that's correct. So Gigi's Bar and Lounge will open this spring at the Shops in Legacy North. This is an upscale Latin restaurant, and they said they're going to offer luxury cocktails, and they promise a immersive experience in the Latin culture. So this is a place not only to go for dinner and a drink, but also for entertainment. So there will be live music and a DJ every night. And they will have 3 weekly events with a very Latino heart. The first one is Noche de Despecho on Thursday. Do you know what is despecho?
No. I was thinking Despacito.
No. Despecho means spite, resentment. That day that you want to erase your ex, you know?
Ooh.
It's a all drama queen girls night.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. So the second one is going to be a Latin night. They're going to have a dance music on Saturdays. And they will have a weekend brunch. There will be a DJ and a Eggs Benedict bar. It's fancy, huh? Fancy.
I've never been to an Eggs Benedict bar. And I've been to a lot of bars. That's a brag, but it's true.
So yeah, Gigi's is one of several places that will open in Legacy North. So this is a spot now, I think, for business and for entertainment. A few weeks ago, we published a story about Lviv Steak and Fritz coming to this place. Lilo's Coffee and Company and YU House, where it's an all-you-can-eat dining experience. So this is very interesting for that area.
All-you-can-eat Wagyu is kind of crazy. So sign me up for that. I guess I could be doing an entire night out at Legacy North now.
And if it's on Thursday, it's going to be more fun, you know? You get to
yell about your ex.
Okay, is it fair to say that maybe this is a new supper club too?
Ooh, we have a lot of supper clubs these days.
I was just thinking that it sounds like it's kind of meeting that Richter scale where we're expecting to have all of these new things like Delilah from Las Vegas, and you're going to get dinner and a show, and it's not just medieval times.
Correct.
That's not where I thought you were going to go.
Yeah.
They don't all have horses and soup that you eat with no spoon. I'm into the idea that you do something at a restaurant besides eat. This entertainment quality feels like very post-COVID to me. It feels like we've gotten to a point where we're, all kind of back in restaurants. We're sharing our food again. Those of us who are over 30 years old are drinking again because apparently nobody who's young is drinking anymore.
Another new one that was announced is Oxford Rose in Uptown, and that is in the Moreau building, which I just thought was interesting because it's the same thing. They're going to have entertainment every night. It might be a comedy show. It might be a DJ, might be a band. What it reminds me of is one of my favorite films of all time, White Christmas.
No.
Did y'all ever watch it? Bing Crosby,
Yeah.
Annie K?
Yeah.
But they have that kind of dinner and a show thing. And I'm like, maybe this is a bygone era that we're actually going to get to live through. Hopefully I don't have to wear a hoop skirt.
Yeah. I mean, you make a good point about how what's old is new again. This throwback thought is very vibrant right now. I have another example of it, which is that there's a steakhouse in the design district called Evelyn that should be opening really pretty quick here. And it is designed to feel old Hollywood, but it's brand new. So they want it to be modern, but it's supposed to look like the 60s and 70s. It too has a special room with entertainment and dancing.
So just up the road from Gigi's is Legacy Hall, which is a massive food hall, all kinds of things going on in it. But the guy behind Shanghai Taste, known for its soup dumplings, Jimmy Lee, is helming another new restaurant. This will also be Chinese street food. It's called Street, just very simply. But this is actually pulling from markets all over China. So that's a little bit different, but you should be able to expect, authentic pot stickers. That's really the big one that they were showing off in the news release that we got about this. Otherwise, I'm excited to see what else is there, but it's going to open early next month.
I would love to eat at a Chinese street food restaurant. I am concerned that the word street is really tough on Google.
Yeah, correct.
Are you talking about a search engine optimization?
Yeah, I don't know how many chefs think about SEO. I do quite a bit in the news business. And the name street, that's a toughie on the internet.
I am curious about what will be the most weird thing that this guy is going to offer, because street food in China, I don't know.
I love this question.
Yeah.
I think it is a really good question. And the answer is I don't have the answer. That being said, again, pot stickers were the big one that they were showcasing, which I think sounds interesting. And to me, dumpling adjacent, my favorite food group.
My 4-year-old just had pork gyoza at a Asian restaurant the other day. And she was like, I don't like gyoza. And I was like, do you like dumplings? And she said, yes. And I was like, those are pork dumplings. And she ate all of them.
Oh.
It's just about words.
I did get a classic bamboo steamer over Christmas and have been using it to cook up all kinds of dumplings. I buy them from anywhere I go. And so we're just trying all of them to see what I can and can't do at home.
We're going through a dumpling thing at home right now because there's a lot of internet stuff about how to make, your Trader Joe's dumplings better. And so we just recently bought the box of dumplings from Trader Joe's. We did the chicken ones and then added like the spicy chili crunch and some other sauce to it. And it was great.
Oh, I forgot that I have an update. I've been to Cafe Dior.
What did you wear?
I don't remember.
This is my biggest fear, is that I don't have any Dior to wear to Cafe Dior.
I went very classic. I wore jeans and a nice white silk top, mainly because I don't own any Dior either because I'm a journalist.
Yeah. Yep.
We had an early-ish reservation. I just said early-ish. It was noon. But we ordered a bunch of things, and the takeaway was this. All of the food was absolutely delicious that we ordered. All of it was what we'd heard. It was very small. But I think they've been getting the feedback that things are small, so they're like, hey, here's some extra stuff to tide you over. So we had ordered a hamachi crudo and then a beet and feta tart, the drape tart. Everything was absolutely stunning, vibrant colors, very well balanced. And then they were like, here's some French bread to go with it. What do you think of when you think French bread?
Crusty.
Buttery.
Neither of those things were present. There was not a crust on this bread. It just so happened to be a roll. They served a really great butter packed with microgreens inside of it. And the butter was really tasty, but you didn't want to eat the bread.
But you wanted to eat the butter. See, this is my problem with bread and butter all the time. I want the butter.
Totally. And so then our entree course was supplemented. So I got the prawns. My friend got the tuna, which was a very special toro that day. So it was extra, fatty tuna. But they served us their potato rosettes, which is just like a pomme duquesne. So it's, imagine just you put it in a piping bag and it's pretty and it's mashed potatoes in a shape. They weren't seasoned. So let's call it the potato really came through.
Because that's all it was.
Yeah, I was like, it just needed a little bit of salt. It was just these things where they were like, let's fill these people up so they don't say that they're not full at the end of the day. Those things weren't home runs. And so that was a little bit frustrating. What I will tell you were a home run were the cocktails. Those were
really
sensational.
Oh, really?
I
Wow.
had some really nice cocktails while I was there.
Man, I wouldn't have thought that at all. I'm thinking fancy, tiny little food and champagne.
We had gone with every intention, by the way, of doing the high tea. And we sat down, they're like, oh, it's not ready yet. So they had the chicken salad sandwiches, I guess, if you wanted to get those. And those actually looks like the biggest thing you could order on the menu if you're going for option value on that. But apparently the high tea doesn't come out for a week or two.
This is a big tip.
I'll be interested to see if, for instance, it gains Michelin attention. I could imagine someone sees the chef's heart on the plate there. That being said, it's not very evocative of Dallas. I don't know if I would travel for this meal that I had.
I'm always thinking about this Michelin idea now that Michelin is in Texas. Like, what is Dallas food? What is Texas food? And I got to say, I know that I don't understand Dior Cafe and it's clearly not for me, but that is not a Dallas restaurant. It would be shocking to me if that was Michelin worthy, despite the chef's incredible talent. I did go to 2 Michelin-starred restaurants over spring break, one with my kids, actually. And these 2 places feel so much more placed in their cities than something like Cafe Dior. So the first we went to was Leroy and Lewis, which is a barbecue place in Austin. And I went to this restaurant when it was just a trailer in a cool little outdoor food truck area. I loved it then. I liked it this time. But, you know, this is special barbecue. We waited an hour in line and I had a really good experience. However, it made me question why some of Dallas-Fort Worth's barbecue places weren't a Michelin 1-star restaurant if Leroy and Lewis is. That's going to haunt me for a long time, actually. The best thing we had was a burger, and it was a really great burger with brisket in it. But that's also not traditional Texas barbecue, you know, a burger. And then we went to March in Houston, which is a 1-star Michelin restaurant. And I believe probably the finest restaurant on Michelin's list of 15 1-star restaurants. And I think, you know, they will be a contender for 2 stars this year or next year. Whether they'll get it remains to be seen. But this is a restaurant where for 6 months they are focusing on Old World Venice. And we just had a thrilling 9-course meal. My husband got the wine pairings. I just picked some wines to go with some of the courses. It was $350 per person just for the food, not including the pairings. So wildly expensive, but just really exciting food. We certainly got enough food, you know, as we think of Cafe Dior. Of course, it was 9 courses plus a whole bunch of add-ons. It's the kind of place where they keep bringing you extra stuff. But it's really on my mind, like, what kind of food do we have in Texas that is really award-winning? And March is one of the best restaurants I've ever been to in Texas. So it's a really cool spring break.
Hey, and Michelin is coming again. I mean, they are like testing places right now. Huh?
Yes, we believe that they're, you know, among us regularly. We don't know who they are, but yeah, another Michelin guide will come out this fall and another after that. We are guaranteed at least 3 years of Michelin attention, and then I think they renegotiate the contract.
I will say I was trying not to look both ways while I was at Cafe Dior because there were people sitting next to me that were speaking fluent French on either side. If you or any of your friends are trying any of the Michelin recommended restaurants around Dallas, Fort Worth, or just across Texas, we would love to hear about it. Email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about many a Texan's favorite drink, the margarita.
The margarita!
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you, whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable. No place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Welcome back. In just a minute, we're going to explore the topic and the history of margaritas and frozen ones in particular. But first, a quick reminder that giving our podcast a good review helps other people find it. So if you like it, please say so. And if you don't, you can skip that part. All right. So Imelda, I am going to thrust you right back into the spotlight to talk about the history of the frozen margarita and the frozen margarita machine and its origins here in Dallas.
Yeah, I think you do that because you know I am the drama queen of this podcast. So this is some drama and telenovela. So yeah, I'm going to give you a good story to tell each time you drink a margarita to your friends.
Okay, we should take notes.
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, let me tell you that Dallasites must be very proud. I'm sure you know that the frozen margarita machine was invented here in this city by Mr. Mariano Martinez. He is the owner of Mariano's Hacienda Ranch. Okay, the story is the man complained about their margaritas weren't consistent, you know? So Mr. Mariano went to his bartenders and saying, what are you doing? And they said, we don't have the capacity of producing margaritas non-stop and keep the same quality, you know? So he thought about this for days. And then one early morning, he went to a 7-Eleven. He saw the Slurpee machine and he had this light bulb moment. He called that. So he bought an used ice cream machine, and with a friend, they adapted this machine to keep the margaritas with that frozen consistency. And then, well, the next move was to find the recipe, and he tried, and oh my God, I'm sure it was hard because trying margaritas nonstop. And then he found the recipe.
I could do it.
Yeah, I know, me too, right? So this changed the game. This became so popular that other restaurants started to do the same all over the world. He said that his machine is in 47 countries. And now, since 2005, this original first margarita machine is in the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. So this is a true hero, a true Texan hero, I think.
Excellently said.
So the challenge with this and finding the right recipe was really more trying to find the right consistency because you can't freeze alcohol.
Correct. He started applying his father's recipe.
Well, Imelda, you did do a call out to readers of our Eat Drink DFW newsletter for their favorite margaritas. What did they have to say?
We received a lot of comments of this, and we will read some of them.
Ooh, I'll go first. Okay, Kathy says, through many years of imbibing tequila in numerous concoctions, I have enjoyed the Inca Gold at El Phoenix, and lately had a wonderful Cazadores Rockin' Rita at Uncle Julio's. I prefer my margs on the rocks with salt, and those two really deliver a nice balance of flavors with or without a meal.
Interesting.
Good tips from Kathy.
So Tim says, for my money, E-Bar in East Dallas has some of the best margaritas you can get. They don't use a pre-made margarita mix, but mix with agave nectar and lime juice. Plus, the food is good.
Let's go back to the agave nectar and lime juice. This, I believe, according to my calculator, means that it's healthy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this is keto, and you just have to not eat chips.
Yeah, which nobody is requiring you to eat chips and salsa while you drink your margarita.
Yeah. Alan Whitelook, he said, I have two places, Fernando's, the City Line location, and Mesero, Addison, Inwood, or downtown. But here's a pro tip. If you go to Fernando's, sit at the bar and tell them you know Alan, the guy that always wears a hat, and tell them you want one of my margaritas. It's pretty strong. So thank you very much, Alan, for the tip.
Okay, so you go to Fernando's and you say, I know Alan.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
The guy with the hat.
I want one of these margaritas.
I want to know what pretty strong means, because that's a spectrum.
You know, one of my thoughts about margaritas in general is that I don't like to get too crazy with what goes in a margarita. After trying a fair amount, I feel like the best margarita is going to be like the house margarita. You can get top shelf tequila if you want to, but like, I don't really want avocado in my margarita. I don't need hibiscus. I just want one that's greenish with the normal ingredients. I'll take the agave or the skinny version, but I don't want a gussied margarita. What do you guys think about that?
I can't do super sweet, so I like the fresh fruit ones, not like the fruit concentrate weird mixes. There's a place in Austin I love that does a mango margarita called Julio's.
I'm also a fan of the lime margarita. I'm open to all the flavors also. For example, the jalapeno one, I love that because it's that kick. You know?
I agree with that too. Now that you say it, also just a regular margarita with tahini on the rim. I like that better than salt.
I want to know what Julie thinks.
I'm actually a really big fan of the Mabo Taxi, but my husband made these beautiful blood orange margaritas this weekend. And he's committed. He'll buy a ton of fruit and squeeze it and agave nectar. Yeah, he commits. And he always buys really good tequila. But I can't drink more than one because they taste great, but they also remind me of too many hangovers I've had in the past. It's just, the smell alone.
I've never had a hangover before.
What? Oh, girl. We need to go to one night of despecho.
Okay, Imelda, I do have to know what your favorite is.
Okay, I have two. La Picosita from La Calle 12. It's with jalapeno. I love the Mariano's margarita with this lime garnish. It's beautiful.
Are you talking about they cut a lime wedge and like turn it inside out?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks kind of like a wagon wheel?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
And it's a good margarita. And there's a limit of 3.
I love that. I feel like when I see something like that on a menu, I'm like, ooh, this is a good one.
Aha, this is a good one. Yeah.
Sarah, are you going to add that to your way to get out of the house right now during Lent?
Oh, yeah. So my husband and I for Lent gave up drinking at home.
Ooh.
And since January, we've really been drinking almost none, which really contributes to worse hangovers, if I can say. When you're in drinking shape, it's easy to drink regularly. When you're not in drinking shape, every time you drink more than 1.5 drinks, you feel terrible the next day and the sleep is really bad. I don't know what kind of advice I'm giving right now because clearly it's easier
To stay in shape.
I know, to stay in drinking shape. But yes, so for 40 days and 40 nights, we're not going to drink at home. And we found a lot of reasons to leave the house, it seems.
Yeah.
So we went to Keller's the other day. It was the middle of the day. And we were like, well, do you want to get a beer in the car? Because they'll bring you one for $3 and we're not at home.
Wow.
And we went on spring break and, of course, we're out of the house. So there's a little bit of drinking. But I love making a sacrifice during Lent. I find it to be a good kind of hard. And so for Lent, we're not drinking at home.
What about you, Anna?
Because I don't do sweet anymore, I don't technically drink a lot of margaritas anymore. I'm more of a ranch water type of gal, which sometimes I'm like, can I have 2 shots of tequila, my own Topo Chico, and then limes, and then I will do it.
So Anna, it sounds like you just want to make your own cocktails at somebody else's bar.
I don't actually want to do it, but I do.
You come with asterisks. That's what I'm saying.
If you want to hear more about other readers' favorite margaritas across Dallas, visit dallasnews.com/food. That's all the time we have for today. We absolutely love it when you send us your recommendations or ask us questions, so keep them coming by emailing us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. Stay up to date with the food team stories at dallasnews.com/food and listen to all of our episodes by following Eat Drink DFW wherever you find your podcasts. Special thanks to our producer, Julie Fisk. For the news, I'm Anna Butler. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.